Welcome back. Today we step into Proverbs chapter 18. This chapter explores the social and relational order, moving from our internal character to the name of the Lord as our ultimate security. In an age of digital isolation and polarizing speech, Solomon reveals the life and death power contained within our own mouths. Let's discover how these ancient couplets provide a shield for our modern lives. An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends and against all sound judgment starts quarrels. A fool finds no pleasure in understanding but delights in airing his own opinions. Proverbs chapter 18 verses 1 to 2. Solomon warns against the unfriendly spirit of isolation. The fool is unteachable because they are too busy airing their own opinions to listen to truth. This selfish pursuit is a form of reality rejection that breaks the common fabric of life. Today, we live in a culture of echo chambers where we only listen to voices that agree with us. Proverbs reminds us that true wisdom is communal. We do not grow wise in isolation, and the pride that leads us to shut others out is the beginning of ruin. The words of the mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 4. Words are compared to deep waters, suggesting they have a quality of depth that can be life-giving or drowning. Wisdom is a rushing stream that provides a constant, refreshing flow of skill for living. Ancient Near Eastern life was centered around the well as a source of life. In our modern, info-saturated world, we often drown in a sea of useless words. Proverbs calls us to seek the rushing stream of God-given insight, rather than the stagnant pools of human chatter. A fool's lips bring strife, and a fool's mouth invites a flogging. The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 6 and verse 8. A fool's speech acts as a snare to the soul. Solomon reveals the deceptive sweetness of gossip. It is described as delicious morsels that enter the inmost parts, causing relational wounds that are nearly impossible to heal. While biblical flogging was physical, modern social flogging occurs through character assassination online. The poison of gossip remains a modern tasty trifle that destroys reputations with a single click. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it a wall too high to scale. Proverbs chapter 18, verses 10 to 11. Solomon contrasts two types of security: the strong tower of divine resilience versus the imaginary high wall of material wealth. True safety is found in God's nature, while wealth provides only a false sense of invulnerability. Ancient cities relied on literal stone towers. Today, many view their net worth or digital encryption as an unscalable wall. Proverbs points to a spiritual refuge that technology and capital cannot provide, reminding us that trusting in riches is a passing vapor. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. The first is state his case seems right, until another comes and examines him. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 13 and verse 17. Wisdom requires the discipline of patience and an intelligent heart that seeks knowledge. Answering before listening is a disgrace, because it bypasses the careful process of discernment needed for justice. In the age of instant reactions and social media hot takes, we often render a verdict before the facts are in. Solomon's advice is countercultural. True understanding requires the cool spirit to listen and consider the opposing case. From the fruit of their mouth a person's stomach is filled. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Proverbs chapter 18 verses 20 to 21. Words are like seeds. They produce an output that the speaker must eventually eat. The tongue has a psychosomatic impact, capable of crushing the spirit or acting as good medicine. We see death daily in toxic discourse that tears people down. Solomon calls us to a higher ethic, recognizing that our speech is a fountain of life that either builds or destroys the community around us. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord. There is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22 and verse 24. Solomon identifies marriage and perfect friendship as essential sources of stability. A loyal friend is a tree of life, whose commitment transcends biological ties, typifying the ultimate friend found in Christ. Our modern era often treats relationships as transactional. Solomon points us toward covenant-faithful relationships that offer staying power, reminding us that being rightly related to others is where we find true well-being. Proverbs chapter 18 tells us that the name of the Lord is our only true fortress. It promises that if we guard our tongues, seek counsel, and remain loyal to our friends, we find life indeed. Subscribe and join us next time as we explore the man of integrity in chapter 19.